Struggling here, but anyway.
Okay.
Should I?
Yeah, I think we can see you clearly now. Is it okay from your side?
Not very well from my side, but well, if you can see me, that's fine with me. I mean,
yeah, we can see you, we can hear you clearly.
Okay, great.
All right. So maybe just a quick of introductions. Good evening to all listeners. This is a virtual legal advice session organized under the auspices of Zumuntah Association. So with us tonight is Lawyer Wisdom from
Wisemart Solicitors.
Wisemart Solicitors. So which is a firm registered in the UK, and then Lawyer Wisdom is one of us, also a Ghanaian based in the UK, a legal person that we've invited tonight to throw more light into Brexit and then how it impacts on our way of life in this country. So it's not going to be a purely lecture session, but more or less an interactive session where we'll have the opportunity to ask various questions. So let's be mindful of the fact that we've just booked 1 hour for this interactive session. So probably we try to limit our questions, maybe 2 or 3, unless there are no further questions where we could give one individual more space to ask more questions. So as we rightly checked before, earlier on, in terms of the language, it will be English and then Twi. So, but if you have a question and you are not comfortable in any of the agreed languages, you could always talk to me, or you could raise your hand, draw my attention, and then we'll give you the opportunity to ask your question, and then we could help translate to Lawyer Wisdom and then revert to you.
Okay.
So, Lawyer Wisdom, good evening and welcome to Zumuntah Association. I'm getting you from 2 perspectives now.
Yes, so I want to put one off.
Okay. Mr. Idris, let me mute you for a sec. All right, you need to unmute yourself, Lawyer Wisdom. All right, that's good.
Sounds better.
All right, yeah, that's better. Thank you very much and welcome to Zumuntah Association. So we are a non-governmental organization, a charity organization based in East London. So predominantly Ghanaian community, even though we have alliance with other West African nationals based in East London, that Gambian community, Nigerian community, and a whole lot of other nationals joining us in our various programs. Right. So we're really happy to have you tonight to help throw more light into the legal system in the UK, and then hopefully viewers will be able to ask more relevant questions or pressing questions where we get appropriate response. So maybe just an intel, maybe to start with, probably if you could just speak about just 5 minutes into Brexit, and then thereafter we start with the question and answer session.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm very grateful for the invite. It is a day the Lord has made, and we are all alive in the midst of all that is going on. To be alive, we just have to say thanks to the Almighty. So, and I thank you all for being on board and for the invite once again.
Thank you.
My name is Wisdom Akahu. I am firstly a Ghanaian, and secondly, I'm an Ewe. So right. We thank God. With the Wisemart Solicitors in London, Dalston. I don't know if some of you have heard me on Rainbow Radio on Tuesdays. Every Tuesday, I'm on Rainbow Radio from 9 to 11 most times to give free legal advice. So today too is just one of those normal times that I advise my people as to what is going on, what to do, what not to do, and how to navigate the immigration system in the UK. Let me put it that way.
That's right. Yeah.
So firstly, I'll just speak briefly about Brexit, what it all is. I believe we all know what Brexit is, but I want to focus on what it means to us now.
That's right.
Now, the UK was in the EU after some number of years. We voted and the majority said, let us leave the EU so that we can have control over our own laws, borders, etc., etc. That is what led to the UK eventually leaving the EU. Ultimately, on the 31st of December, which is just gone past, the UK is absolutely and totally outside the EU. Now, what that means is that the UK now makes its own laws. The UK judges have control of the UK laws. There is no way UK decisions will be taken to Brussels or the Court of Justice to be dealt with. All that will be dealt with in terms of UK laws is to be decided in the UK by our Supreme Court judges. That is, if it goes all the way to the apex court, it's going to be decided by the Supreme Court in the UK. Now, what does the Brexit mean? It means that if you are an EU national in the UK and you've been here for less than 5 years, you have to register. There's something we call pre-settled status. Pre-settled status. You have to apply for the pre-settled status, which would enable you to live in the UK forever if you want to be here. That is what we call the pre-settled status. Now, if an EU national and their family members have been in the UK for more than 5 years, so there are 2 years here, less than 5 years and more than 5 years. If you've been here for less than 5 years, you apply for the pre-settled status. If you've been here for more than 5 years, you apply for the settled status. So that is the difference. Less than 5 years is pre-settled. 5 years and above is settled status. Now, the settled status is also called the indefinite leave to remain. So if you hear somebody saying, I am settled, I am settled, I'm settled, all they want to tell you is they have indefinite leave to remain. They can live in the UK for as long as they want to live in the UK. That is, they have indefinite leave to remain. Now, if you have indefinite leave to remain as an EU national, you are brought under the UK laws. Example, if an EU national who comes to the UK is not here and settled, they have indefinite leave, and they want to go and marry from outside and come bring their spouse to the UK. Now that we are no longer part of the EU, they will now use the UK laws.
Oh, I see.
Yes, they will no longer use the EU law because we are no longer part of the EU. However, if somebody married before the 31st of December 2020, they will still use the EU law.
Okay.
Because the person became a family member of the EU before we left. So if, for instance, two people should come to me tomorrow and say, lawyer, I am married to an EU national on the 30th of December 2020. And the second person says, I married on the 1st of January 2021. The one who married on the 30th of December 2020, they will use the EU law.
Okay.
But the one who married on the 1st of January 2021, we will use the UK law.
Okay.
Because on the 31st, the UK left the EU, so we are no longer part of the EU. Now, if you're an EU national and you are here, if you are already here, you can still continue to apply for your wife, your children, your father, your mother. They are called family members. So for family members, you can still apply for them. So assuming I am an EU national, I married before we left the EU, I can still bring my wife, my children, my father, my mother, my grandparents. They are all family members, so I can still bring them to the UK. But my brothers, my sisters' children, my uncles, my aunties, I cannot bring them because they are not family members. They are extended family members.
Okay.
So from the 31st, the law removed all extended family members from the application.
Okay.
But family members are still part of the application. But extended family members have been removed from the application up until the 30th of June, 2021. And possibly beyond that, some applications can still take place. So when it comes to Brexit, these are the main implications for Brexit for EU nationals who are in the UK before the 31st of December 2021. Sorry, 2020.
Yeah.
The laws have changed. One interesting thing is, if an EU national is in the UK and they have not been here for more than 5 years, and they have the limited leave, the pre-settled status, they can still marry. But when you marry, your application will be dealt with under the UK law, not under the EU law.
Okay.
So let me explain that again. If an EU national came here, let's say 1 month ago, before the 31st of December, and they go and marry from Ghana, their application will be dealt with still under the EU law because they married before 31st of December. But if they marry after the 31st of December, then it will be dealt with under the UK law. And the UK law says you must be earning £18,600. You must, your partner must write the English language test at level A1. You must have 6 months pay slips, 6 months bank statements. You must have accommodation. You must do tuberculosis before your partner can come to the UK to join you. That is under the UK law. So there is a bit of differences between the UK law and the EU law. And also 31st December is a watershed moment. We need to know whether the person married before 31st December or after 31st December. Now, so someone himself Ghana idea, our really dear. Yeah, Papa no timi worry na just actually answer no work or yet marriage certificate no. And so the marriage certificate ni ba me ne na se we see and then work or any mean to me wow. But we the back na se actually say we worry November, October, and the dear. But just send make and what here.
Yeah, that's right.
That is how the dynamics works.
Yeah.
So the date of the marriage is different from the date of the registration.
Yeah.
Example, say me say me proba bi Ghana na me ko kwakoware na met me akọ na busuafo akọ home yet na say e 2 months ago, 3 months ago. And the sad date now me ko home busuafo na yet na say no sad date the date of the marriage.
That's right. Yeah.
Until later me ko register in January, February, March 2021. Remember that I have already seen the family in October, and that is when the date awareno a year. So if you want to bring yourself under the EU law, just say awareno back before the 31st of December 2020. And yes, sir, only the UK brand and and also there, and that form is quite difficult.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. I think that's very clear and straight to the point. Just to our viewers, Nagani lawyer, clarify so many areas, but in case somebody has some maybe areas that he or she needs some clarification, I'm free. Those who do not want to talk, you could send me a text message and I'll read it out. Or if you have a question at the moment, just draw my attention.
I think before the questions come, there's 1 or 2 areas that I think is quite important.
Okay.
I'll mention it briefly so that if after that the questions can flow.
All right, that's good.
One very, very important area is this. If there is somebody in the UK they don't have any leave to be here at all, the law says you can apply if you have been in the UK for 20 years. 20 years. So it means that you should prove that you've been in the UK for 20 years. It is not just saying that I have been in the UK for 20 years, but you have to have the evidence for 20 years. However, if there is a person in the UK and the person is between 0 to 18 years, the person is not more than 18 years old, and they have lived in the UK for 7 years, they can apply to stay. Example, somebody came to the UK with their child. The child was 2 years old when they came. They haven't gone back. The child is now 14, 12 or 13 years old. Remember, the child has spent more than 7 years in the UK. Because the child has spent more than 7 years in the UK and the child is under 18 years old, then application can be made for the child, and the parent who has no leave to be in the UK, we will link the parent's application to the child's application, and they will both get their leave to be in the UK. That is what we do under Appendix FM, Section LTRPT, that is leave to remain as a parent. The child's application will be made under paragraph 276 ADE on the long residence and private life route. Then the parent's own will be made under the parent route to link the two of them. They will both get their stay in the UK. Secondly, if the person is between 18 to 25, first of all, it's 0 to 18, you have to be here for 7 years. And then 18 to 25 years, you have to be in the UK for half of your life or half of your age. In that case, if you are 22, you have to be in the UK for 11 years. If you're 24, you have to be in the UK for 12 years. So half of the age you are, if you divide it by 2 and you can prove that you've lived in the UK for half of your age, you can also apply, you will get your stay. But if the person is more than 25 years old, then they have to be in the UK for 20 years before they can get their stay. So let me give you an example. If, as you and I are speaking right now, somebody just landed at Heathrow, the person is, let's say, 40 years old, and he wants to stay in this country for 20 years before he gets his stay, he has to add the 20 years to the 40 years. He will be 60 years old. And also, they would not give you indefinite. They'll give you 2.5, 4 times. 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. So before you get your indefinite, you will be 70 years old. By which time you have expired, we just carry you home. So that is the long residence route. But if you don't want to be here for 20 years with 10 years on top before you get your indefinite leave, the law also says that if a person in the UK marries, that's what the law says, you marry another person who has a child and the child is under 18 years old, you have become the step parent to that child.
Yeah. Because
you become the step parent to that child, your name is in the child's school. As the father, you go for parents' evening meetings, etc., etc. You take the child to school, you bring the child from school. Your name is at the GP. When the child is not well, you take the child for GP appointments. You are married to the child's mother or the child's father, or you lived together for 2 years. Again, you will get your stay. So let me give you another example. If you and my brother, the two of us, we landed in the country today, and for me, I said I can't wait for 30 years before I get my indefinite. So I decided to say, look, I'm going to marry. Genuinely, I'm married. The woman has a child, not my child, but the woman has a child. I become the stepfather to that child. In a maximum of 10 years, I'll have my indefinite leave. When you are waiting for 30 years before you get your indefinite leave.
Wow.
the choice is for you to decide. Some people like it 30, others like it 10. So the individual will have to decide whether they want the 30-year route, 20 plus 10, or you want the shorter route. That is if there is a stepchild. But if you have your own child as well, your own biological child as well, again, if the child is British or the child has spent 7 years in the UK, again, under Appendix FM, Section LRPT 1.1 onwards, again, you can apply as a parent of a child in the UK. If the child is your own biological child, it doesn't matter whether you marry the mother or not. You can be somewhere, but you must have contact with your child.
Yeah.
Yes, but if the child is your stepchild, you cannot depend on somebody's child if you are not married to the child's mother. So that is also a little bit of information I thought I should let the listeners hear. So
that's a very, very, very complex permutations of the whole thing. So I know there must be a lot of confusion going around at the moment, because maybe others may try to tailor that to their situation, or maybe ask general questions. From your initial submissions, in terms of the marriage, you said from Ghana, if maybe a British citizen happens to try to bring a spouse over, understand you'll not be given maybe 5 years or stay at a go. It has to be like the 2.5 years in
That's
about
correct.
2 different successions, or 4 times. I don't know, is it twice or 4 times?
Yes, it is before the 9th of July 2012.
Yeah.
Before 9th of July 2012, if you're a British citizen or you have indefinite leave to remain, and you marry from outside the UK and you bring your spouse here, they give them 2 years.
Okay.
After 2 years, straight away, they get their indefinite leave to remain.
Okay.
But the Home Office, the Secretary of State at the time, Madam Theresa May, she said she has observed, and then she has seen that when people go and bring a woman or a man to the UK, after 2 years and they get their indefinite, then they divorce. And when they divorce, then they go and bring the proper Mr. or the proper Mrs. It means that people are just playing the system. Because of that, she changed it to 5 years.
Yes, okay.
And the 5 years, they will not give you the 5 years at once. They give you 2.5 years. First of all, they give you 1 month to enter the UK. When you enter the UK, you go and collect the rest of your stay on the card, biometric permit.
Okay.
The 2.5 years will be on the permit. After the 2.5 years, you have to do another 2.5 years. And her reason for doing that is that she wants to see whether the relationship is genuine.
Okay.
So if it is genuine, it will last for 5 years. If it is not genuine, it will break down within the 5 years. So it's now 5 years, no longer 2 years. It is 2.5. After that, another 2.5 before you go for your indefinite leave to remain. So yes, and that started from the 9th of July 2012.
Okay. Is that strictly to a married spouse or someone in just a relationship, no, with a marriage certificate?
Well, we have the instances where the person can come as an unmarried partner.
Yeah.
If it's an unmarried partner, then it's expected that you should get married in the UK. Okay. So the person can come with the fiancé visitor's visa. Okay. Fiancé visitor's visa. Okay. But when you come, it is expected that you get married within the 6 months. Okay. And then after that, you can apply to stay as a spouse. And again, they will give you the 2.5 years and another 2.5 years before you get your indefinite leave to remain.
Okay. So just a follow-up question to that. Yeah, I understand if you have the 2.5 years, you are not allowed to stay outside the UK for 6 consecutive months. Otherwise, it may affect your reapplication when it's time to renew.
You mean if the person comes as a visitor or as a spouse?
No, as a spouse, and then after obtaining the 2.5 years visa, and the person happens to live outside the UK for 6 consecutive months, and then returns to the UK to renew the visa.
Oh, the visa, right.
Yeah.
The leave.
Yeah, the leave.
It depends. There are instances where a person might have traveled outside for medical treatment.
Okay.
Or possibly for the purposes of education.
Okay.
But it is always advised that the individual must prove that they are residents in the UK. Okay. You have to show that you live in the UK rather than living outside and visiting the UK.
Okay. Yeah.
So you have to show that this is where you are resident. Your partner is here, you're working preferably, you have evidence, proof of address to show that you've been here for the 2.5 years. Mostly they look at 2 years. The ones that is available, you can use that to extend your leave. If you live outside for more than, there is no fixed timeline, but the longer you live out there, the more they begin to think that you are not living here, you are rather outside and only visiting the UK. So that is what it is, yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Just to our listeners, I'm getting text messages, so most of the questions are not just from me, so I'm not hijacking the whole program. A follow-up question is, if someone lives here, the person has not regularized his stay in the country, but he happens to get married to a woman who has regularized her stay in the country, and they have a child. So what are the routes through which he could use this particular relationship and the child to regularize his own stay?
Right. If I like to use myself as an example so that I don't get in trouble.
Okay.
So assuming that I am here, I have no leave. I came as a visitor and I overstayed. Now, am I married or just a partnership?
Just a partnership, but it's, or maybe Islamic marriage. Okay. Islamically, you got married, yeah. Okay,
so assuming that you get married, the marriage certificate is there to prove everything is okay, and there is a child involved. If there is a child involved, 100% you will get your stay. I will get my stay.
Okay.
If we are not married, but we live together, and we can prove for 2 years, 2 years proof of cohabitation, of living together. If you go to the definition of GEN 1.2 of the immigration rules, it defines a person who is a partner as you're married, you're somebody to whom you are married, or somebody with whom you've lived for 2 years. So even if the parties are not married, if they are married under the law, perfect, no problem, you'll get your stay. But even if you are not married, but you can show that you live together for 2 years and there is a child involved, again, is about 100% you'll get your stay. But if you are whether you are married or not married, and there is no child involved, married or not married, and you even live together for 2 years, but there is no child involved, you will be asked to go back to Kotoka, to Ghana, and stay there for 1 year, 12 months before you can apply to come back. Why? The Home Office says, when you were coming to this country, you promised on your honor that you will go back. You came, you didn't go back, and therefore you have not been truthful to them. So your punishment is go back to your country and apply before you can come back.
Okay.
The only time you don't have to go back is if there is a child. Because of the child, either your own child or your stepchild, you will not go back because of the child. But if there is no child, you have to go back. Or there is something we call insurmountable obstacle. That is called EX2. If there is a serious medical problem, serious medical problem. So assuming one is married to this woman or to this man, and the woman has a serious medical problem at the point that if the man should leave her, she can easily die, or it will affect her life because of the serious medical problem. Even if there is no child, they will still give it to you because of the exceptional circumstance. So these are the only two exceptions: a child or a medical circumstance, which based on you can be given your leave to be in the UK. So that is how it works.
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me make it a bit complicated. The same question is just a follow-up question on that. If the woman has been adopted in the country by a relative and she has not yet gotten her indefinite leave to remain, and she happens to marry to a man who has not regularized his stay, and they have a child and they are married, what is the situation with the man?
Okay, that I have an answer to that situation.
Okay.
Now this is what it is. Assuming the mother, the woman has, what has she got? Indefinite leave? Or no,
she hasn't gotten, it's just a visa.
What visa?
Is adopted visa. That's the dependency kind of visa.
Okay, let's say it is 5 years.
Yeah.
Or the pre-settled status.
Yeah.
Now, once the woman has the pre-settled status, based on whoever adopted her, when she gets a child, that child is also eligible to apply for the same status that the mother has.
Okay.
So assuming the woman has 5 years of pre-settled status, the child also gets the same pre-settled status. Now, the father of this child, who has nothing to be in the UK, can also make an application under the Human Rights Act.
Okay.
It's not under the law, but it is under the Human Rights Act. Because this man has a relationship with the child, not with the woman.
Yeah.
With his child. His name is in the GP. He goes to the GP appointment with the child. Maybe he goes to school, he takes the child to school. Because of that, he has established a human right. It's a human being, the child is human, so there's a human relationship between him and his child. Based on that, he can make an Article 8 application. Article 8 is different from the immigration rules. The Article 8 is purely human right, and then the way to see, oh, okay, if we look at this, your case, I think we have to give it to you because of the child's best interest. So yes, it can be done. But I'll be honest with you, this application is not as guaranteed as if you are settled or the child is settled. So that is what it is.
What about if the woman has indefinite leave to remain? Will that change his circumstance?
Absolutely. Once the woman has indefinite leave to remain, the child, if the child was born before the woman got indefinite leave to remain, the child will be registered as a British citizen under Section 1(3) of the British Nationality Act of 1981.
Okay.
And once the child becomes British, nobody can tell the man to leave the UK because the child is British. And you cannot tell the man to remove his child that is a British away from the country. The child hasn't done anything wrong.
That's right.
And you cannot punish the child because the father hasn't got say.
Okay.
So in that case, the dynamics changes in favor of the man. So that is how it works.
That's good. Thank you very much.
If the mother has indefinite before the child is born, then the child is automatically a British
citizen. Okay, that's good. Thank you very much. Sarki, before I come to you, let me just ask another question. I've just received a text message. It's a lady who is married to an EEA citizen.
Right.
And she lived for continuous 5 years in the country. But unfortunately, misunderstanding argument, the man has bolted away. There's no way of tracing that man. So is she able to apply for indefinite leave to remain even without the man being available?
There is one I am doing right now.
Okay.
Similar situation as you've mentioned.
Okay.
They married 5 years ago. In fact, they've been married for I think even 6 years. And the relationship broke down. They are not divorced. They are not divorced. But the man has no idea of where the woman is.
Okay.
Now, in this case, there is a case called the case of Aishatu Diata.
Diata, okay.
Yes. The case of Diata says it does not matter whether the parties are living together or not.
Okay.
That is one. And the case of Diata also says if the parties have to live together at all costs, you can just imagine what will happen if the EU national comes with their partner and they decide to leave. It means they left them in a limbo. They don't know what to do. And therefore, whether they live together or not, the fact that they are still married is good enough. Okay. The second point is there's something called paragraph 40 of the Borders and Citizenship Act, 2007. It says that the Home Office has the power to contact the HMRC to get the evidence from them that the EU national has worked in the UK for more than 5 years.
Okay.
Once that is established, whether they are living together, whether he can trace her, whether she can trace him, whether there is any contact or not, the application can still be made for the indefinite leave to remain, as long as the EU national has been in the UK for 5 years and the other party has also been in the UK for 5 years, she will get her indefinite leave to remain.
Okay, all right then. So I think the catchphrase here is that with the PWD search, it must establish that the man has worked in the country for at least 5 years. So in a situation where there are gaps in terms of his employment in the country, will that affect the application? It
should not. Under the pre-settled status, they're not necessarily looking for the man's employment. They just want to establish that the person has been in the UK for 5 years.
Okay, all right.
Under the settled or the pre-settled status, they are not looking at the person's employment per se. It helps, but if you can establish that they've been in the UK for that duration, then obviously you should qualify for that.
So I will ask my last question, I promise. There's a question someone asked, please, if an EU national wants to bring an extended family member, like a cousin, what is the procedure?
Unfortunately, it's too late now.
Okay.
It's too late. They have taken away all the extended family members from the 31st of December 2020. All extended family members are now out of the EU applications. It is only family members. Only family members. And the family members include your wife or your husband, your children, your grandchildren, your father, your mother, your grandparents. That is direct bloodline.
Okay.
But brother, sister, uncle, nephew, nieces are all extended. They have all been cut off from the EU application.
That's good. Thank you very much. Sarki, I know you wanted to ask a question. Can you go ahead, please?
Lawyer Wisdom, thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
My question is just about the 20-year route.
Yes.
Yeah, what are some of the requirements for the 20-year route?
Right, thank you. The 20-year route application will be made under paragraph 276 ADEI. Now, what it says is you have to prove that you have actually lived in the UK for 20 years. Because they know some people came some years ago, disappeared, and then appeared again. So they want you to show, one, you can, if you registered, maybe assuming you came, you registered with a GP, and every single year you've attended GP appointments, just go to your GP, they'll print everything for you. That is evidence of 20 years in the UK.
Wow.
They will print, it's not just a letter to say you've registered with the GP since this time. They have to print everything for you. The date you attended, the doctor that attended to you, the time, the medication, the prescription, they'll print everything for you. Now, if that happens, then you have evidence to show 20 years. Other evidence is maybe you came to the UK, you don't have the papers, but you were bold enough to work in the UK with your name. And that the HMRC has been taking tax from you over these years. you can request for your employment history or your tax records. They'll print everything for you. Somebody will say, hey, I don't have the papers. I'm not supposed to work. The issue is, it doesn't matter whether you had papers or not. There's a case called the case of ZH Bangladesh. That case says, as long as you did not commit a criminal offense in the name, even if I use your name and I have ID cards to show that it is me who used your name, but the face is my face, that is also good evidence enough to show that I am qualified for the 20-year route. I did it for somebody who used 5 different names. 5 different names. Let me just quickly pick something and show you as evidence, so if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks.
This is one of the 20-year ones I'm dealing with right now.
That's massive.
20-year one, massive.
Yeah.
Now this person, I don't know if you can see some ID card here.
Yeah.
You can see some ID card here?
Yeah, that's right.
There's another ID card. You see? Yes. Now this person has different names, but her face is on all these ID cards.
All this, that's it.
Yes. So even though the names are different, the face is the same. And that is evidence enough to show that this person qualifies for the 20-year route. So GP records, HMRC records, your name or not your name, as long as it is you. Tenancy agreements, bank statements, old documents, anything that has your name, that can show 20 years. My brother, you are good enough to go for it. You will get it.
Lawyer, still on my question.
Yeah.
Let's say I come in 2010 and I couldn't register for GP. I register after 2 years.
Yes.
Would that auto still claim be part of the 20 years or not?
Unfortunately, that becomes a problem, because although you came 2 years, you came after 2 years before you registered, the GP can only produce 18 years for you. So the 2 years that you were here before the registration, you have to have other documentations to support it. Example, if the person is a Muslim, he goes to the mosque, he is known, he can get a letter from the institution and the establishment to confirm that we have known you from this date, you've been attending the mosque from this time, every Friday you represent. If there is any payments you make, you make it. These are pictures to show that you have been in these programs over the years. That is solid enough. So that covers that gap, that 2 years gap. You can also get letters from friends and family. And if you're in some other associations, Ghanaian association like you are now, they can also produce letters for you to show that from this time to this time, you've been in the UK. And then we use that plus the 18 years from the GP and etc. You should be good enough.
And one more question.
Yeah, sure.
I come in, my passport has been sent back. I went to do another passport and there's a mistake in my name. It's still the same name. Can I use that passport for the 20 years or do I have to do another passport again?
I would advise you to comply or to use the accurate name. So if there is a mistake in the spelling of the name by the passport office, I would say take it back to them. Ghana High Commission, they'll correct it for you. They'll correct it. If the mistake is from them, get it done properly, because once it is issued, you are stuck to it until maybe you do some change of name later. But it's easier to correct it and use it thereafter. That's your own choice. But if you still want to keep that name, then of course, you can also use that. But let me point here before I continue. I have seen the occasion where somebody came to this UK, sent a passport back home, they stamped inside that had gone back home. And then later, they returned the passport to them. And unfortunately, when they were going to apply, they sent that old passport, which had the stamp in it, that they had gone back home. So the Home Office said, oh, but when you came, there's evidence in your passport that you went back to Ghana in this year because the passport was stamped. And therefore, you were not in the UK over that period of time, and that affected them big time. So these are some of the bits and pieces one has to be very careful about when you are doing some of these Lord President's things. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I think Aziz, the next question from Aziz. Can you unmute yourself, please?
Okay, thank you very much, Chairman.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Hi, brother.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
My question is, can we still marry an EU citizen whilst you are living here?
My answer, go on, sir, go on.
I mean, now, as situation now, can we still marry an EU citizen?
The answer is yes. Under Article 12 of the Human Rights Act, it says that marriage is your human right. Whether you have papers or not, it doesn't mean there is no sweetness in your body.
That's right.
So marriage, you can marry. But to stay in the country, that is where the issue comes in. There are two issues. Getting married, yes, but staying in the UK, that is where the issue comes. Now, if you marry, if the marriage certificate is after the 31st of December 2020, then you cannot apply in the UK. But if the marriage certificate shows that you married in Ghana, the customary marriage was in Ghana before 31st of December, then yes, you can still apply in the UK. I don't know if I've answered you well enough.
Yeah, I've got you.
Yes, you
Thank
got
you
me.
very much. Thank you.
You are a smart man, you got me.
All right, thank you.
Thank
So
you
the
very
date,
much.
the date of the marriage is key. The date of the marriage is key. If it is before 31st December, with them. If it's after 31st of December, I'm sorry. You say,
Okay.
And someone him say, when him say, so it's yes.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you so much. I have a question I need to read out to you. If you had a child before, the EU parent acquires indefinite leave to remain in the UK, how do you get a British passport for the child?
Okay. If you had a child before you get indefinite, you have to register the child under Section 1(3) of the British Nationality Act 1981 because the child was born before you got your indefinite.
Yeah.
So assuming I had a child last week, and today or this week the Home Office gives me my indefinite, I have to register my child under Section 1(3) of the British Nationality Act 1981. But if I got my indefinite leave last week and my child is born this week, automatically the child is a British citizen because I got the indefinite before the child was born. So the child is automatically a British citizen then. But like you said, if the child was born before the indefinite, registration under Section 1(3) of the British Nationality Act, and you pay the fee of £1,012.
Wow.
To register the child. But if the child is British, automatically you pay only £55 to get a British passport for the child.
Okay. Wow, Lawyer Wisdom, thank you so much. And the follow-up question on that is, how do I register the child?
If you want to register the child, you can do it online. You can print the paper one. The form is from MN1. MN1.
Okay.
MN. The M stands for minor one, MN1.
Okay.
You go online, you fill the form, get 2 referees, they put their details in there for you. After that, you print the form, you sign it you scan it to the Home Office, you pay the fee, the child will get their certificate as a British citizen.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you very much.
You have to attach the parents' proof that they have got their indefinite leave to be here, the child's birth certificate, the parents' proof, and then the child should get their British citizenship.
Okay. Wow, that's good. Mustafa, before I come to you, there's a question I need to read out to you. That a woman is married by her brother.
Okay.
Yeah, and she gained 5 years under the EU marriage. And then she eventually met another man in the country, and then she's built up relationship with that person. Of what benefit will the man derive from this relationship in order to regularize his stay?
Okay, this is quite technical, and we have to handle it very well.
Okay.
Now, when you say the word brother, I understand. In Ghana, we call some family people, we call them brother.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe your uncles, nephews, nieces, you call them brother.
That's
it doesn't mean your blood brothers. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay. So once this lady is married to this gentleman and she has 5 years, she hasn't got her indefinite yet.
No.
Now remember that if she goes to have a child with another person, it will cast doubt on her relationship with this
first
man.
one. Yeah, that's right.
And therefore, when it is time for her to go and renew, it can affect her. They will say, we don't believe that this marriage is genuine. We will say it is a marriage of convenience.
That's right. Yeah.
So I would say, under the British Nationality Act, it says that if a woman is married and she gets a child, the child is the child of her husband.
Okay.
So if the husband's name is on the child's birth certificate, because that is what the law says, after she gets her indefinite, and this other man comes out to say that, look, I think that this child, if I look at the nose, I think this child is my child. And therefore, I want to have a DNA done because I remember I was in a relationship with you sometime. If they do a DNA, remember the woman has already got her indefinite.
Yeah.
So if they do a DNA and the DNA shows that the child belongs to the other man, and then there is a divorce between this lady and the husband, because she was unfaithful, infidelity, and that has led to the divorce, then the man who can now prove that he is the father of this child by the DNA can then benefit from his child. But not whilst this woman is still married to somebody. That everything will tumble, everything will crash. So it has to be handled very tactically.
Tactically, wow, that's cool. Just another question. We've been having this debate just because of the case of there were some British nationals who went abroad to join terrorist groups, and then one child was eventually made, is it nationless or she? Stateless. So that brought some kind of, should I say, with the Ghanaian community, a lot of people are now of the view that if you give birth to a child in this country, you acquire British passport for the child. There's no need to have Ghanaian passport in case the child falls into that kind of circumstance. So that child will be automatically taken to Ghana, but without any other passport, the child is more likely to be.
Yes.
So
that is very true. You see, once a person holds dual nationality, dual passports, they are susceptible to being removed.
Okay.
Now, it is a very difficult thing to revoke or to cancel a British citizenship. Very difficult.
Yeah.
They don't do it easily. They don't do it lightly.
Yeah.
Now, if the child has, when this corona thing started, Ghanaians who went to Ghana with their Ghana passport and their British passport were left behind.
Oh.
You had to buy your own ticket and find your own way to come back.
Okay.
But Ghanaians who went with their British passport with a visa in it, the British government went and brought them back. Yes, because if you have the Ghanaian passport, you are deemed to be a national of that country, so the country should be responsible for you.
That's right.
But if you don't have the Ghanaian passport, or even if you had, you didn't travel with it, the British government is responsible for you.
Okay.
So yes, it is true, where the child has the Ghana passport and the British passport, In the case or in the event that something of that happens, in the unlikely, we hope, event that something of the sort happens, they have a ground to argue that even if we revoke or we cancel your British passport, you can still have another country to go to. You are not stateless. So it is actually a very fine, thin line. One has to be very careful when you are drawing or crossing. I have a lot of clients who says, no, I'm not going to apply for the British Ghana passport. I'll take visa and go. So that is what it is. Because of some of these unforeseen events happening, that is why. So yes, you're right. But I would also say it is not very easy to just take a British passport away. It can go all the way to the Supreme Court. It doesn't just easily happen that way. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. I know we are gradually approaching the hour mark. Mustafa, I understand you have a question to ask. Can you unmute yourself and then ask your question?
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hello. Thank you for having us today.
You're welcome.
Okay.
My question is with the 10-year rule.
Right.
Is there any other option that you can follow without following the 10 years?
Yes, there are options. You can go without having to go the 10 years. You can do the 5-year route. That is, you can divide the 10 years into 2. I'll show you the strategy. I have clients, when they got the first 10 years, I told them to go and work for about 6 months. And then they came back to me, and then I made another application for them to switch them from the 10 years to the 5-year route. Now, the reason why you cannot switch from the beginning is the requirements are you need to have the relationship with either your wife or your child. You must have immigration. You must have valid leave to be in the UK. You must meet the financial requirements, and you must meet the English language requirement. It must be 100%. But remember, the first time the person is applying, he may have a relationship with his wife or child, but he has no leave, he has no valid leave.
Yeah.
And so they cannot put you on the 5-year route. So now that you've got the first 2.5 years, let's go through the list again. Do you still have the relationship with your child or your spouse?
Yes.
Do you now have leave to be in the UK?
Yes.
Can you now do the English language test?
Yes.
Would you be working to meet the financial requirements?
Yes.
100%. We now switch you to the 5-year route instead of remaining on the 10-year route.
Okay. Wow.
So it is possible.
Yeah. That's some clever calculations over there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the switch.
All right. Thank you very much. I hope, Mustafa, that is very clear. You are muted. If you don't have a follow-up question, then I'll go to Mala Abbas. Abbas, can you unmute yourself and then speak up?
Hello, lawyer.
Hi.
Thank you for having
You're welcome,
today.
sir. Mr. Abbas.
Yes. Yeah, thank you, sir. And so my question is regarding the extended family.
Yes.
When you said that, so what if a person did the application before the 31st December?
Yes.
So would that still be okay or still not okay?
That is fine. If the person put in the application before the 31st December, on the paper, that is EEAEFM. EEAEFM, that's EEA Extended Family Member. Before the 31st of December, that person has already entered before we left. So if it is granted, then we thank God. If it is not granted, you'll be given the right to appeal because you applied before we left. Yes. Okay. But so that is how it is.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And
also another question as well.
Yes.
And we've been having a debate about it. Is there any limit? Like for instance, if a person is given like 2.5 years, is there a limit on how many months he will have to spend outside the UK? Is there a limit on that?
There is no clear-cut number of days that you should stay outside. But I always advise my clients that even if you're going for British citizenship, they advise, the law says you should not spend more than 90 days outside the UK in a year.
Right.
That is 3 months outside the UK in a year. That is what British citizenship law says.
Okay.
And therefore, if we should juxtapose that to this one, I would say, although the law doesn't say 90 days, 180 days, 6 months or so, I would advise that the person should be more here than there. More here than there. Because when you make the application, they will ask, have you traveled outside the UK? You take yes. When did you leave? You put it there. When did you come back? You put it there. It calculates the date. So it will add all up to see that out of the 2.5 years, you haven't been out more than you have been in the UK. So give and take, if I should advise, I would advise everybody not to spend more than 100 days in a year, in a particular year out of the UK. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks so much. We're really very, very grateful.
Yeah.
Mustafa, did you want to have a follow-up question? Or Senior Sule, you are meeting yourself. Have you got a question?
Yes. Yeah, I have a question, please. Okay.
All right, Mustafa first before we come to Senior.
All right.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, Mustafa.
Yeah, I was, based on the question I asked, I was trying to find, he was talking about you have to go for 6 months and come back. That part wasn't clear with me. That's what I wanted to explain for me.
Okay. Yes, my explanation is you should not stay out for more than, from my advice, not more than 100 days in a year.
No, that was the question just passed. My question was about the 10-year rule, which you say you need to go for 6 months and come back before you do the application.
Oh, okay.
And I was asking,
yes,
what happened if you oversee the first 6 months?
It doesn't matter at all. I don't want the person to waste the years.
Right.
You know why I say that? Because whatever time you spend on the first 2.5 on under the 10-year rule does not count towards your 5 years.
Okay.
You start the 5 years again from the start. So if the person goes 6 months to work, pay slips, bank statement, the reason why I said 6 months is maybe the person is not going to work with his own papers.
Yeah.
If they are not going to be doing now, it's not going to work. You're not going to work with your own thing, get your own name, your pay slips, bank statement in your own debiality. Then you can come back and then we can work. Yes. But if you spend 1 year, 1.5 years, it's wasted because you have to start the 5 years again anyway. I hope that's
I think that's very clear. That's very clear.
The shorter the period you spend on the 10-year route, the better for you. So technically, you end up doing 5 years, 6 months, you get your indefinite. I have my own cousin.
Yeah.
I did the first 2.5 years for him. I told him, my brother, let's switch. Go and work, come back, let's switch. Because he had been in the country for so long before getting his 2.5 years, he was enjoying, he wasn't minding it. Before he realized the 2.5 years had passed. Before we switched. So technically, that person is doing how many years? 7.5 years.
7.5, yeah.
Which is a waste of time. We could have switched within the first 6 months and you would have done just 5 years and 6 months.
Wow, that's good. Thank you very much. So I think we're approaching the hour mark. I'm mindful of the time because we've allowed you to be talking so long. Senior Sule, yes. Could you please ask your question?
Okay, I have 2 questions. Good evening, Mr.
Good evening, my brother.
Hello, Mr. Wisdom. Yeah, I'm good. My question is, we are in the 10 years route. So is that possible? Now I'm going to 5 years. Is that possible to apply for my son to bring it here? Or my daughter to bring her here? I can't hear you, please.
Yeah, unmute yourself. With Lawyer Wisdom, unmute yourself, please.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
Yes. You have 2.5 years, right?
Yes, I'm going to my 5 years now.
There's somebody eating at the background. What are you eating, my brother?
Who
I
is
don't know
that?
who's that.
You're making me hungry now. You're making me hungry.
I don't know who's that.
That's Aziz.
All right, that's okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. If you have if you have 2.5 years,
Yeah.
is it based on your child or on your wife?
It's based off both my son and then my wife.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
You can apply to bring your child that is under 18 years to the UK.
Okay.
You can apply to bring your child that is under 18 years. And that application will be made under Appendix FM E-EC. The E stands for entry clearance. The hyphen stands for entry clearance as a child. The C stands for child. So it's under Appendix E, Appendix FM E-EC. That is the application. Now, you have to prove something we call sole responsibility. So the question is, where is the child's mother? Is she the same person here or she's in Ghana?
No, not the same person here. She's in the Ghana.
So she's in Ghana, right?
Yeah.
The next question is the child's mother in the child's life or not in the child's life?
She's still in the child's wife. Yeah.
The child
yes.
is living with the mother.
Yes.
Then the child is not going to come even in 100 years' time.
All right.
Okay.
You know why?
No.
The law says the parent here must have sole responsibility. Sole means you are the one who makes all the major and important decisions in the child's life. Now, how can you convince me that the child who is living with the mother, you are the one here who makes the major decisions?
Okay, especially I send them money. I have the proof. Like I'm the one send them. Yeah.
Money alone is not enough.
Okay.
So responsibility goes beyond financial remittances. So you have to show that. I'm giving you an example. The person has to show that the child is living with his family member, his mother or his uncle or his sister, not the woman's family, but the man's family. That is one.
Okay.
Number two, you have to have a letter from the child's school, which says that you are the parent who called to seek for admission. You are the parent who controls whether they have to go for a field trip. You know, this excursion. You give authority before the child can go. If the child is not doing well, they call you or you call them and you discuss the child's progress. You have to show that you are the one who makes the major decisions. And that is what we call sole responsibility. I have 3 appeals I am doing now because they didn't do it well. They just went and added the documents to say, I can confirm my child is so and so, living with this person, is in school, and therefore I want to bring the child. The Home Office will say, no, you don't have, you have responsibility, but it is not sole. Sole means you are the only person who makes all the major decisions. This application is very technical. If you want to do it, I would like you to sit down with me. I give you letters that you will have to take to the school, and then just follow the procedure and see exactly how we want it to be worded before we make that. Otherwise, I can tell you to be refused. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Then the next question, please.
Yes.
Okay. The next question is that possible? Like you and the missus come here together, but you seek political asylum, but the son already and the mother, they have British passports, but the dad, he don't have nothing. So now the son is already adult. So is that possible, the dad to got the paper between through the son or no?
How old is the son?
Yeah, he finished university.
So it's clearly more than 18 years old.
Yes, more than that. It's adult, yeah.
That is the problem. Once the child goes past 18, they are no longer a child, they are an adult. And so the father can no longer depend on him. There is a case of Kugatas. There's a case law which went to court, and the case is called the case of Kugatas, Kugatas. HAS, Kugatas. That case says, before you can rely on a child or the child rely on the father, that is an adult, you must show that there is a more than normal father-child relationship. Example, one party is not well, it is the child, it is the father who bathes the child, takes the child to a hospital, prepares food for the child, and all those other stuff. It means that this is more than parent-child relationship. That is the only time that you can depend on that child for your stay. But once they are more than 18 years, Kugatas comes in. Kugatas is very difficult to meet, and therefore it becomes very, very difficult. However, the father who sought for political asylum in this country, I will tell you the truth. I will tell you the truth. Ghana, if anybody comes to seek for asylum in this country from Ghana with political asylum, they will not give it to the person because they have classified Ghana as a peaceful country.
Yeah.
Although we have our issues, the Home Office, the UK has classified Ghana as a peaceful country. So if a man, particularly a man, comes to seek for asylum from Ghana, they will not give it to you. I know people seek asylum based on their sexuality, gay, lesbian, those kind of things. That is a different matter altogether. But when it is political asylum, it's very unlikely, if the man is from Ghana, that they'll give it to him. He has to look for another option to regularize his stay. That is what I would say. Another option to regularize his stay. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wisdom. I know we've taken you so long, but I've seen a lady who put up her hand. Maybe we'll listen to two more questions from the women, and then we wrap up.
That's
Swad, HAJIA Swad.
Okay,
HAJIA Swad.
Yeah, I was about to ask something, but I forgot. Is that the difference between the life in the UK test and English test?
So, can you ask the question again, please?
What's the difference between the life in the UK test and the English test?
Oh, the difference is one is life in the UK test and the other one is English test.
Yeah, because I was just having a debate
now.
Let me
tell you the difference.
I thought it was just one test.
No, the difference is this. The difference is this. The English test is called, we have two. We have the A1, actually three, A1, A2, and B1.
Right.
A1 is for people coming from Ghana to join their spouses. They do the A1. Right. The A2 is when you get to the UK and you want to extend another 2.5, you have to do the A2. And then the B1 is if you are going for your indefinite leave to remain or your British citizenship, you do the B1. The life in the UK test is not English. It's about the history of the UK. How many children does the Queen have? Who is the Queen's first child? Trafalgar War, where was it fought? Who was the first king of England? These are the questions. That is not English. It's more about the history of the UK, the life of about the UK. What is the NHS? What does it stand for? Where does the Queen and her family live? What is the name of the, what is the palace in which the Queen lives? In London. These are this is about life of the UK, not English language test. The English language is about speaking and listening. And the other one is the life in the UK test. So that is the difference. One is about the history and one is about speaking and listening.
All right. Okay. What if you've got let's say a certificate that you've got A level in English? Can you use that, or you still have to do the B1?
They only accept a first degree. So if you have a degree from any university or maybe a polytechnic in Ghana and it is of equivalent of a degree, you have to bring that certificate to the UK and take it to UK NARIC, N-A-R-I-C. UK NARIC, N-A-R-I-C. They will take that certificate and then they will do assessment and compare it, comparability, to see whether the degree or the certificate you have from that country is of the same equivalence? Can it compare to a degree in the UK? Once they give you a letter to say the degree is comparable to one in the UK, you do not have to write the English language test, but you still have to write the life in the UK test.
I get that, but what I'm trying to say is if you have English A-level in England, the certificate is in England, you have the certificate here, not from Ghana.
Well, that is not very clear. I know if you do the life, if you do a degree in the UK, that is fine. Degree, master's, doctorate, etc. is acceptable. But if it is A-level, so far, I'm not going to deceive you. I have not used any A-level certificate in the UK before, and I don't want you to do so. If anything, you can take my number, call me, I'll research on it for you, and then I can tell you for a fact whether it's acceptable or not. I don't want you to go and throw your money away, 1,300 and something pounds for nothing. I need to be sure before I give you that answer. Degree, I am aware of. Master's, yes. Doctorate, yes. But for the A-level, I have to check before I let you know.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Is that fair?
Yeah, it
very
is.
fair. Very fair. Thank you very much. Maybe we take last question from Mala Abbas, and then thereafter we wrap up, please. Abbas.
Right, hello, lawyer. Sorry, me again.
That's okay. It's me. Me too. It's me again. So don't worry.
Yeah. Yes. It's a question from a brother. Yeah.
That's okay.
He's got his indefinite leave to remain, but he was married to an EU member before.
Right.
They've divorced.
Good.
But because he got the indefinite leave to remain under the EU application, so now he was wondering whether he has to do the pre-settlement or settlement scheme again, or does he need to go straight away and apply for the UK passport?
Yes, if he is going to apply before June 30th, then he can go straight for the UK citizenship, not passport, but citizenship.
Okay, citizenship, yeah.
He has to naturalize before he gets the passport.
Okay.
So if he's going to do it before the 30th of June, then I would say he has to do it.
Okay.
He can do it straight away. But if he's going to do it after the 30th of June this year, then I would advise him, it's free of charge. He can do it himself online. He doesn't have to pay. He has to, I would advise him to apply for the settled status, not the pre-settled, but settled status. Okay. Because he already has the indefinite or the permanent residence card, he will get the settled status. They'll give him a card, which is indefinite leave to remain. Yes.
Right. Thank you very much, Lord.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Wisdom. I know we've dragged you so long. Senior Majid.
Please, I wanted to ask a very quick question. I don't know if you ask on my behalf.
Okay, is it
very short? It's very short.
Yeah, go.
Sometime before they changed the immigration rules in 2005, like if you have lived here for 14 good years without causing any problems, you were eligible to apply for the right to remain in the country. And then in 2005, they extended it to 20 years. With the current immigration bill that is being published, are there plans to either cancel it or to increase it to maybe more than 20 years?
Well, rather, even 20 years we cannot stand in the Well, actually, before the 9th of July 2012, the 9th of July 2012, it was 14 years. Once you meet the 14 years, they will give you indefinite leave to remain straight away. But from the 9th of July 2012, it was changed to 20 years. So they added, Theresa May added 6 years to it. Now, there are several bills before Parliament that are being considered as we speak, but their main focus is now on coronavirus, how to tame the animal called coronavirus. Yeah. There is no indication that they are going to increase from 20 years and above. In fact, people are even speculating that there may be an amnesty. People are speculating that there may be an amnesty.
Okay.
By virtue of the number of people who have died, etc., etc., people are thinking that there might be an amnesty because the Prime Minister once said it when he was the mayor of London. So we are hoping and praying that after this corona thing is all over, something of the sort may come. But there is no indication right now that they are going to change it from 20 years to increase it to any other level. No.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Wisdom. Thank you so much. We're really, really grateful. Zumuntah and its entire membership are really grateful to you. And I've got a lot of requests to know your details, contact number, and address. I don't know whether you could leave that with SARKI or we could just put it on the screen.
You should announce it for everyone.
Yeah,
okay. I would announce it and then I'll take a WhatsApp and send to you. Then you can
then we'll put it on our, yeah.
All right. Okay. Yes. It's thank you very much. I just want to say thank you too. Thank you all very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be with my people and my brothers and sisters. I'm grateful, very grateful. Now,
just a request. The community wants to know if we can be having like once in a month to just educate us about these legal issues.
Yes, I'm more than happy. What will happen is once you give me the prompts, give me the dates, I am more than happy. We can go. So you can collate all the questions, you put it to me, I respond to them as we yes, so yes, I'm fine with that, not a problem at all.
Thank you very much.
Yes, if not for Corona, I would have personally come to the meeting and I would have, but
that's right.
We hope that one day, not very long from now, we shall go back to some degree of normality. Yes.
That's it.
Right. It's Wisemart Solicitors. It's spelled Wisemart. Wisemart. Wisemart Solicitors. I am on radio every Tuesday, Rainbow Radio from 9 to 11 a.m. every Tuesday. My address is number 8 to 9, the Print House at 18 to 22 Ashwin Street, Dalston Junction. Now, those of you who know Dalston Junction, there is a McDonald's, you know the Dalston Market, there's a McDonald's around that place.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm directly behind the McDonald's.
Okay.
Directly behind the McDonald's. The telephone number is, let me give you the postcode. The postcode is E83DL. E83DL, Delta Lima. Echo 83 Delta Lima. And the telephone number is 0208 0165 384. 0208 0165 384. My mobile number is 079 31 411 042. The number again is 079 31 411 042. So these are details. Wisemart Solicitors, Dalston Junction. Now, if you're coming from London Bridge, it's bus 149. You get on Dalston Junction. If you're coming from Victoria, it's bus 38. You alight at Dalston Junction.
Wow.
If you're coming from anywhere in town, just get to Dalston Junction. Yes. Bus 277, bus 488, bus 67, bus 78, bus 277, I mentioned again, all go through Dalston Junction. Bus 243 through Dalston Junction, through to Waterloo. If you're coming by train, you're coming from Richmond to Stratford, you alight at Dalston Kingsland, just in front of the market.
Okay.
But if you're coming from West Croydon to Highbury and Islington, you alight at Dalston Junction. Once you get there, give us a shout or ask for the McDonald's. We are directly behind the McDonald's. You can come. We are more than happy to help you. Thank you very much. God bless you.
We're really grateful. We're really grateful. Thank you very much. So we shall advertise the firm and ensure that we make you our primary client. going forward. I know our members, we have a lot of issues, and then hopefully we'll be more comfortable and confident in confiding in you with all our immigration and other legal matters. So once again, we are really, really very grateful to have you tonight, and then hopefully we'll continue to have more of such meetings going forward. So once again, thank you very much, and have a lovely evening.
How can I say thank you in
Hausa? Nagode.
Oh, Nagode.
Nagode, yeah.
Don't send me address through WhatsApp.
Yes, I will send it to you now. Thank you so much. Thank you all. I'm grateful.
All right, thanks so much. Thanks so much. Same to you.
Bye.
Bye.
Chama.
Yeah, Jama, so no could cookeri and log in more people, which is really good. Yeah,
look at this. Well, guy yana da good. Domin ya kamata na jin ganshi don na taba kai wani wurin shi ma, amma ni da kana na facing shi don na da abubuwa da yawan da ya kamata yi. Dan na da number shi dai, insha Allah, bukata.
Every Tuesday kuma da safe Rainbow Radio.
Idan na aiki da rana kenan na follow wannan.
Mustafa Kaji word Zumuntah Bulko.
Rainbow Radio ya frequency number na.
Frequency Rainbow Radio. They online kagadi.
Ticket one.
Mustafa kana number shi ka kira mana wannan.
Yasa ban yi fada ba yasa na san na.
Yeah, shikenan.
Kai fada da Abbas, do Abbas ya ku cross.
Yasa ban tada kura ba.
Ka tada kura da Abbas. Shi ya ku cross ka.
Wa sauki bane.
Wallahi ya yi kokari ya yi
kokari na shigo late da ma ya yi guy na the free guy no don na ta yi twice kenan free guy yana da open yana da open,
which is really good.
Very good guy, yeah, very good.
Aziz kabar man na ya gane batun cin nama yana ana lecture kana background ka ta alkabar kodai abokin nan ya tashi.
Hadin nama ya bada confuse. Aga nama kasu wani mutum zai ci duka. Ko dai ma shige shi yana so ya ci wani.
Ta ma ke ka boye naka ba kana fadi na Aziz ya kenan.
Na shi aka gani yayi.
Wallahi ka kama shi ke da laifi ai.
Haka dan ne wannan ne gaskiya ne.
Naga text in kalle ta mun tun draw curtains ne so ban yana tambaye question kan nan ba.
I mean, Islam. It's okay. It's fine. I think that question is not that. Yes, no, he's fine. I look at you, so that's okay. I think the guy is very good, and we can use him. He's very good. That's why I've been HK. I've been HK. Yes, a lot because of the shit.
Yeah.
I think it's very good. What about supposed to disclose? Just to guide you in person. I think that is
okay.
Important. So we have to make use of him. Just comment.
Wala ka je ka fadi kawai.
Ka je ka fadi mai, I think he's
dole na maka sai da ciwo